All right, so let's just start. Let's just settle into our meditation seat. Let's get our posture sorted out. It's just, sorry, I'll fix my microphone. It's just more conducive to the meditation and to our concentration. So check your feet. If they're down, make sure they're in a parallel position. Other than that, if you're in the regular cross-legged position, you can have something underneath either knee, sits bones slightly raised. Hands are in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. Shoulders are aligned with the hips, and if you are in good health and not in any pain, try and hold yourself upright rather than lean against the chair or the wall. And just imagine your spine is this string of pearls, and the pearls are made of light, stretching all the way up from the coccyx, the base of the spine, all the way up through the center of the body and out through the top of the head. And just imagine there's someone above you very gently lengthening your spine. So you're stretching out all those muscles along the back. They help to support us. So Lorraine, when you get a bit stronger, you'll be probably needing to strengthen these muscles again. The head is very slightly tipped forward. The eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose to a spot about 2 inches ahead, and the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And relax the jaw. Just bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, and just take your mind to the back of the eye, particularly if you wear corrective lenses, and just try and relax the back of the eye, all those muscles there. And relax the nose and the cheeks, the jaw, the mouth. And release any tension in the back of the head. And relax the ears, the inner ear, the temples, the jaw again, and the back of the tongue. And also think about relaxing the throat, the inside. Then relax the back of the neck. Release any tension there. Allow your shoulders to drop down and your shoulder blades to drop down. Now relax the front of the throat. The chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. So it's a little bit cooler as you inhale than when you exhale. And take a nice deep breath. Just relax, just feel. And just notice the sounds that are in your environment. Right now we're in California, it's dusk. It's almost dark. So our crickets will be coming out soon, but the birds have gone to bed. All the children have gone to bed. So everything's quiet right now. But if you do hear sounds outside your street, maybe there's vehicles of some kind, maybe there's people in your home, just allow those sounds to be there. They're just part of the tapestry of your environment. And then bring the mind, your attention to the thoughts and feelings in your mind. And just notice that whatever is arising is completely fine. And try not to, have any opinions about what's going on in your head, or expectations, or thinking that you should be doing something different other than what's arising. Just allow it and acknowledge it. And try and put some space in between your thoughts. And if you do have something arising, just to examine it, look at it, like an objective observer. And then we just put ourselves on the bank of our river and watch this river of mental moments of ours just flow on by. We don't get swept away or caught up. And we're sitting just away, sort of somehow distanced. Free. So let's bring to mind all those people of our life, the ones we really love and care for, our besties. And then there's all those people in our life who we have a few, everyone has someone, I guess, who we find a bit irritating or harmful, and we just want to sort of stay away. Maybe it's best to stay away. And then there's those people in our life who are just total strangers. Those truck drivers, the people in the cars, the people on the street, people in the store, fleetingly in and out of our life. Maybe we see them occasionally, maybe we see them every day, but we don't really know who they are, don't know their name, don't know their life. So it's possible that the person that you're in love with right now, maybe you passed them some time ago in an airport somewhere, or on the street, or on the freeway. So that time they were a stranger, and then now they're your beloved. So they change places, this friend, this enemy, and this stranger. And it could happen at any time. And they all, just like you, want to be happy. So we're all equal, really. This idea of status is just a concept we make up. When it comes down to it, we're all the same. Everybody wants to be happy, everyone's looking for happiness. Not really quite finding it. Everybody wants to be free from problems and suffering and difficult, awkward situations, but we always seem to find ourselves in them. And everybody has this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind. So let's just bring our mind to the breath and think, I'm going to do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings, and for ourselves, as we move along our spiritual path. And really rejoice that you made it here tonight. I mean, some of you are working really hard, very, very busy lives, but yet you still made time to come here. So that's pretty amazing. So rejoice in that effort that you're making. So imagine first, there is no negativity. There's nothing you've done that's so awful that it can't be purified, that can't be dealt with. And we create this negativity. It all starts in the mind. It starts with these thoughts. And they're called delusions, these negative thoughts. So we can equally create positivity with our mind. So plasticity is a thing. We can change our mind and we can mold it to any shape we want. So sometimes I think we're stuck with this negative mindset, but actually we're not. We just have to change the habit, make a decision to do that. So the first of the four opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day and in this life and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any more suffering, any more problems. So logically it makes sense that we would want to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret our delusions, our anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, not as a savior. Not like, oh, please forgive me, I've done this horrible thing. We have taken responsibility for our actions. So we've taken responsibility by regretting. And that implies that we're planning to do something about it. So we found this Buddha, Vajrasattva, who has these methods that we can use to purify. It's like medicine that we can take responsibility and do it ourselves. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And he's your teacher or your guru, your lama, manifesting in this form, this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but untainted by them. And he has this radiant, brilliant, beautiful face. His eyes are long, and they're like shaped like lotus petals. And they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. So you can imagine absolutely delighted to see you, welcoming you, no critical thoughts towards you. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you have harmed recently, and just think in your mind, wish for them to be free from suffering. And then think of the people who've harmed you, and although maybe a little bit more difficult, try and develop in your heart some compassion for them, because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've caused you. So we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing that practice of purification. So we start with the purification of the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending white nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and it pours into you quite forcefully and fills you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyato Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jija Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. I think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit people now with your body and other sentient beings, not just people. So next is a purification of speech, and Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and just kind of careless speech, talking badly about others behind their backs, sort of not quite telling the truth. And all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing. And when it's overflowing, it's quite forceful. So Lama Rinpoche said, like a hat being blown off the top of the head as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dudu me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So now feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and into your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness. So just imagine the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all our depression and anxiety, all our insecurities, all our grudges and bitterness and our opinions and resentments and jealousies and just kind of like grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anurakta me bawa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are of course the source of all of our suffering, the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified and they're gone. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of the imprints, and this is just a little bit more subtle level that we're working at here. So for the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech and mind, you can do those with a couple of mantras each. Or just imagine light and nectar just pouring in, filling you completely, and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind from your continuum as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So now feel you're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. And next we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth step in the purification process. This is really a crucial step. Like I said at the beginning, regret implies we want to do something about it. So here we make a decision. If we're truly regretting, we want to make a decision to try not to harm with our body and our speech and of course our mind again. So if that means you're engaging in some negative self-talk, that's harm against yourself. You can maybe think about, okay, so well, when you even start noticing it's happening, because we have this running commentary running through our mind a lot. So we need to sort of give ourselves a break from ourselves, some space in between those thoughts. And maybe we just say, I'm going to give myself a break from myself, my self-criticism for 10 seconds. Or I'm even going to try and recognize it. And I'll focus on that maybe for maybe a minute and see what's actually going on inside the mind. When I see it, then I can refrain from it. Something like that. Just about however it works for you. And give yourself as short as time as needed, or as long a time as needed. But don't do more than you are capable of at this time, because our capacity will grow and change. So we start simply and humbly, and then we can move on from there. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light, and just kind of absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. And so next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So this way we look at all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we know this from our everyday life. We misinterpret things all the time. So at that level, but also at the level of not really understanding emptiness. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Ho Tub Shul Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelway Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kuraway Leg Mon to a Drub. Padag sog dulje kondu jab ten chok. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And Vigeshi Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for hosting, Mary. And Shayla and Michael, thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Steve.